Chapter 8, Access Control for Information Systems. Learning objective and key concepts. Learning objective. Implement appropriate access controls and identify management techniques within IT infrastructures. Key concept. Data at rest, data in motion. File system access control. Users, account type, privilege management. Supervisory control and data acquisition in industrial control systems. Access control best practices. Access control for data. Data at rest stored on some device vulnerable to theft. Secure data at rest, access control, whole disk encryption, physical security. Data in motion describes data anytime it travels from one place to another, vulnerable and improper disclosure of theft. Securing data in motion, encryption data, secure communication channels. Data in motion. Object level security. Object, an item or a distinct group of information in a data storage system, usually a relational database. Group information as an object. Set controls at object level. Allow you to manage groups of related data. Helps with DAR and DIM security. Access control list. A security identifier that identifies what an access group and entity applies to a specific user group or security. An access mask that lists the specific rights granted or denied. Flags to indicate the type of access, type of ACE, and whether child objects can inherit the rights of the object that the access control entity is attached to. Access control list type. Access denied. Denies SID, specific access to an object. Allowed access allowed. Allows specific right to SID. System audit. Causes the creation of an audit record where SID performs a specific transaction. Discretionary access control list. Controls access to an object. Handles what access is allowed or denied. Create a DACLE for every object that needs security. Access granted, denied, all rights. Process ACEs. System access control list. A system created ACL that handles information assurance. Not generally modified by users. A system generated list based on audit rules set by the systems administrator. Contains the access that handles what access needs to be audited and where stored it is. Does not actually allow or deny access. It only records the access, attempts, and successful failures of that attempt. Information gathered in audit logs by the SA rules can be invaluable to security investigators. Access control executables, internal to the application through the operating system. Delegated access right. Explicit delegated rights. Access rights are rights that are actively given to a user by an object owner. Implicit delegated rights. Access rights that happen automatically due to previously delegated rights from the object owner. Microsoft Windows Workstation and Server Spaces access rights. Full control, modify, read and execute. List folder contents, read and write. Microsoft Windows Workstations and Servers advanced permissions. Full control, the sum of all other rights. Transverse folder, execute file, the ability to navigate the file system and execute files. List folders, read data, the ability to list the contents of the folder. Read attributes, the ability to view ownership and access control attributes to the file. Read extended attributes, the ability to view all files or folders attributes. Create files, write data, the ability to create new files and write to existing files. Create folders, the ability to create new folders. Microsoft Windows and server advanced permissions. Write attributes, the ability to change the file and folder ownership and access control. Write extended attributes, the ability to change extended attributes such as the ones in the list. Delete, the ability to delete files and folders. Read permission, the ability to view access control permissions on the file or folder. Change permissions, the ability to change access control permissions on the file or folder. Take ownership, the ability to change the ownership attribute on the file or folder. Granting Windows folders permission. Open File Browser, right-click on the folder, choose Properties from the pop-up menu, select the Security tab, edit permissions assigned to the users by clicking the Edit button. From the permission box, add or remove users from the group by adding Add or Remove. Granting Windows folders, check on the ones that they can have. Grant Windows for folders permission. Domain administrator rights. Domain administrators in the Windows is a member of the special domain administrator group in the Active Directory. Domain administrator possesses full control over all computers in the domain. The ability to assign and modify the ACL of users, files, and folders on the system's domain. Ability to add and remove computers and organization units from the Windows domain. Domain administrators are not the top-level authority in the directory. Super administrator rights. Super administrator built-in secret account in all versions of Windows, including Windows 10. Accounts in the local administrator on the standalone installation of Windows is disabled by default. Has full rights on the local system, can take ownership of objects generally not needed in a standalone installation. Pass-to-hash attacks. An attacker uses hash harvested from one system to log onto another. Occurs when operating systems cache passwords, hashes locally, and facilitate hashes. Linux file permissions. Popular open source operating system that is widely used in the server environment. Systems have simplified ACL-based file permission. Write, read, write, execute classes of users, owner, group, and world. Linux file permission, symbolic notion. List the permissions by the first letter of the write. Example, the read is listed as a R. Write as a 9-character string with dashes is placed in unassigned writes. Example, read for users in a group, none in the world. Based on assigning each triplet in a symbolic notion a numeric value of 0 through 7, values expressed as a 3-digit. 0 permission is 4, read is 4. No permission is 0, read is 4, write adds 2 and 1. Example, 640. Linux file permission. Read, write, execute. The root super user and a special class of users in Linux environment, also known as a super user, has a full access to the system, has the ability to override system permission and run any process, some administrative tasks. Supervisory control and data acquisition. Industry control systems, a mechanism used to control the output of a specific industrial process. Supervisory control and data acquisition. Information systems and access control are generally not built into the SCADA and ICS. Securing industry control systems require specialized knowledge of wired and wireless communication technologies, ICS communication, ICS approaches. Best practices for access control information. Create a baseline for access. Segregate users' rights by role. Automate users' creation. Tie access control in the environment. Have a clear statement of decommissioning data soft storage devices. Case study and examples. Private sector, Diva Construction, a small Midwestern construction company, needed to upgrade infrastructure and secure sensitive information. Added a Windows server and migrated from Windows workgroups to Active Directory domain, centralized access control, set up mandatory access. Public sector, Angelica Care, a small aged care facility in New South Wales, Australia, wants to convert from paper to electronic documentation, implements access control in at least 8 privilege schemes. Critical infrastructure, Alabama Medicaid Agency. User management at the agency was manually decentralized process, moved to a centralized users lifecycle management to improve provisioning and deprovisioning. Summary, data at rest and in motion, file system access lists, users account type privileges, supervisory control and data acquisition of SCADA, and industrial standards ICS. Access control best practices.